So I was surfing the internet when I came across a quote from Marilyn Monroe's diary. The quote seemed weirdly familiar, as if I wrote it. And it was when I again realized how much in common I have with the author of the quote. So Marilyn Monroe said, "My father would be waiting for me. I daydreamed and I would come into the house smiling from ear to ear. I daydreamed briefly about beauty. I dreamed of myself becoming so beautiful that people would turn to look at me when I passed. And I dreamed of colors. Scarlet, gold, green, white. I dreamed of myself walking proudly in beautiful clothes and being admired by everyone and overhearing words of praise. I made up the praises and I repeated aloud as if someone else were saying them. Daydreaming made my work easier. When I was waiting on the table in one of the poverty-stricken, unhappy homes where I lived, I would daydream I was a waitress in an elegant hotel dressed in a white waitress uniform, and everybody entering the grand dining room where I was serving would stop to look at me and openly admire me." So being on the other side now and comparing the end moment with the beginning of my level up and self-reinvention journey, I cannot believe that all of this was possible. The journey was so long and difficult at times. And my journey to beauty is not only about the physical beauty, it is also about overcoming generational traumas, my own issues, healing the inner child, working on my self-concept, and so on. And in today's video, I will share with you the process. So point number one is to realize your need to change. Marilyn Monroe said, "I had to be born and this time better than before." And this was the beginning of my journey also. It was March 2020 and I knew I am not even close to the desired version of myself. Everything from the physical to inner me was screaming for a change. I started noticing that the things I desired, places I wanted to go to, people I wanted to be with, seemed so far away, as if I could never reach that level. And indeed, I was really far. The today's me is on the same level of my past desires. And I did reach the level that seems so hard and impossibly out of reach. And I wanted to make this video to motivate you that if there is a vision in your head for your own future dream self, please do yourself a favor and start the process of trying to reach it now, before you turn 60 or 70 and realize that so many life possibilities have omitted you, just because you decided that life in the shadow of your true self is better. Point number two is notice your inspiration. And I already did a video about inspiration and why it is so important, and I will link the video down below. So I started noticing inspiration of women in real life, and I spoke in that video about a woman in the office who shined the possibility on me. I watched her and I wanted to be like her. I started paying attention to things that inspire me. From home decor to style to holiday destination, lingerie I saw and liked. The types of dresses and hairstyles. I would save those pictures, print them out and stick them in my journal. And I slowly started to becoming the person I was meant to be. First in my mind and then in the physical realm. Your desire is the preview of life's coming attractions. This was it. I saw myself in pieces and pieces in different people, different photos, advertisements, and literally everything around me.
I said imagination is everything. It's the preview to life's coming attractions. So when you have something in your imagination, it ain't hocus pocus. It's actually a preview of a coming attraction that God has for you. He places everything He has for you in your imagination. Everything in your imagination is God showing you in your mind something he has for you. You know why they shot it down? Because they couldn't see it. You know why they couldn't see it? Because God didn't show it to them. He showed it to you.
So I really would want to inspire you to also start noticing the things that speak to you. What is the aesthetic that you like? What things bring the spark in you? And I think that those things that awaken in the deeper parts of ourselves are telling us something, and I think that we should listen. And now I know exactly what are my heart desires, and I keep noticing it every time a new desire and spark arises. And also, I would like to recommend you to create your own vision board, whether it is some pictures that you can stick above your desk or some pictures you can put in your journal. I think this is a very powerful way to surround yourself with the life you want to have, and you will have no choice but trying to reach them. And you really will find a way to create it. So the change happens first in you, on the micro level and in your subconscious. And soon you will find yourself unable to gravitate to anything that is not your life desire. Marilyn Monroe said in her diary, "I would try to cheer myself up with daydreams. I was dreaming about attracting someone's attention, of having people look at me and say my name." And decades and years later, Marilyn Monroe is the biggest star the world has ever known. Point number 3 is decide what is it that you want. And here, let me share the Sadhguru speech with you, as he perfectly captured the message. And I have found this video 3 years ago at the beginning of my reinvention journey, and I decided I will do exactly as he says.
So what is possible and what is not possible is not your business. That is nature's business. Nature will decide that. And if your thought is created in a powerful way, without any negativity, without any negative thoughts bringing down the intensity of the thought process, it will definitely manifest. You have decided that what has not happened till now cannot happen in your life in future. This is a disgrace to humanity and the human spirit. What has not happened till now on this planet can happen tomorrow.
So ever since I heard this message, my entire life is directed in that one direction. And the process of finding out what I really want was not easy. I had to work through some past deeply rooted fears. Just as the quote says, "The cave you fear holds the treasures you seek." And this was exactly true in my case. So I have worked really hard to uncover my deeply rooted desires and wants, the life I want. And I have literally took a piece of paper, invented myself and my life. And many of the things that I wrote down have already came true. And just as Marilyn Monroe said, my admirers all say the same thing in different words. And I also hear the same compliments from different people. What amazes me the most is that people compare me to the exact movie characters or real-life people who were my own main inspiration back in the day. And I truly cannot believe it sometimes. But now it seems so obvious and real. However, if someone told me 3 years ago that I will resemble those women one day, I would really think that the people are mad. So it's really crazy to see how this all can work out. Marilyn Monroe said, "I was full of a strange feeling, as if I were two people. One of them was Norma Jean from the orphanage who belonged to nobody. The other was one whose name I didn't know, but I knew where she belonged. She belonged to the ocean and the sky and the whole world." And think about the Marilyn Monroe, the quote from the beginning of this video. The past her who only dreamed about those things and the person who she was able to make of herself. Doesn't it seem so unbelievable to you? And I already spoke about it in my video about Marilyn Monroe, but just compare the old Marilyn to the one at the top of her fame. And just think that she did it all by herself. She has manifested the person that she has become, just like in the quote from her diary. And taking my own story and having manifested exactly what I have wanted with the one biggest project of my 2020 self, I was thinking, what else could I manifest and bring to life with the same exact pattern and the same efforts? Point number 4 is take the first step and then keep going. So once you have decided what is it that you want and the vision you have, write down the steps to achieving it. Once you have realized what is it that you want, the inspiration you saw, the vision for yourself you have, take the first simple step on that way. And in my personal journey, it was a lot. And I'm working on a video about seeing yourself as a painting and actually to start with seeing yourself as a blank canvas. But this is exactly what I did. I realized the big potential in me. I have started with my skin, which was terrible at that time, and I'm also working on a video about it. I have fixed my hair. I started investing in my style. As a more masculine-leaning woman before, I had a lot of trousers and I only had one very plain dress. I now have 0 pairs of trousers and all of my clothes are dresses. I had to change everything about me and I had to completely reinvent myself. I have done so much research on skin, health, style, and in the meantime, I kept writing things in my journal, healing, learning, growing. I kept editing everything until I was completely happy with the results. And right now, I only keep doing the things that work and I keep adding a piece of clothing here and there. And then I went on finding the movie characters that I found inspiring. And I often speak about Blair Waldorf as she was the first inspiration I ever had. I watched the Gossip Girl series, noticing different things, energy, aesthetic, and behavior. And I did the same with other movies and characters. I would spend hours studying them, trying to take something from them and embody it myself. Each year in my journal, I had a different movie character stick in my journal. And many of those inspirations have made their way to my YouTube channel as well. I was also noticing people around me, paying attention to what I like and I find attractive about them. And I do that to this day. Just as Marilyn Monroe, I see myself as a piece of blank canvas and I believe I can keep mastering the painting that I am. Point number 5 is once you notice the first signs of the manifested beauty, keep manifesting, editing, adding, and most importantly, enjoy the process and the hard work. I see life as a beautiful journey, and in my opinion, it is a beautiful journey to your life biggest desire and purpose. So I hope in this video I have inspired you to pay attention to the desire in your heart, the inspiration around you, and also I hope I have inspired you to take on that beautiful self-creation journey. You, my dear, are a creator and I think it is best to start with yourself first and then you can do the same process on other spheres of your life. Life is a journey to the desire you are hiding in your heart. The desire in your heart is there for a reason. And I think the resentment and jealousy you sometimes feel, it is because someone else has what is supposed to be yours. You have it in you and it is up to you if you decide on taking the first little scary, yes, but so adventurous step to the beautiful desire and vision that you hold in your heart.
What is possible and not possible is not your business, it's nature's business. Your business is just to strive for what you want.